Go watch the podcast.
Welcome to podcast number
78, I think.
78.
78 strong. We're still married. We're happy. It's awkward saying that
You
because it's been a
hesitated when you said happy.
It's been a really rough week for both of us.
It has. And I think next week's not any better, at least for me.
Yeah. I've learned a few things about myself in the midst of this like stressful stuff. It's stress related to work, not stress related to like life or marriage, like the important stuff.
It's work for sure.
It's work for sure. And I think I also realized I put a lot of the stuff on myself.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the stuff. Oh, you.
I meant, really? Do you? I've never noticed.
It's a little too quick. I had this epiphany today because I always feel like I'm behind, right? Because a lot of these projects are really big, and I'm trying to get these videos out as soon as I can. And it was I think today you said something. No, yesterday, because you and I got in a little what do you want to call it? A debacle? A quarry?
A quarry is a.
Is that a?
Did you mean a quarrel?
A
quarry is like
is that like a pond or something?
Yeah. We got on a quarry and then we got out.
We got into a sea anemone.
It was, I don't know. It wasn't like an argument.
It's a quarrel. There was tears.
No.
There was.
Oh, there was tears.
There was no cuddling after. There's no holding hands. There's a lot of silence.
There's a lot of silence.
But I learned about myself.
A lot of looking out into the distance.
Yeah, not making eye
contact. Classic. But that's how we fight. We don't really it doesn't escalate ever with us.
No, and we apologize within 24 hours. Or I definitely.
Yeah. You usually, this is how it goes. Whenever we have some sort of like disagreement, quarry. And then if we even go to bed, like kind of, I mean, we're never like really mad at each other, but it's more like this like silent treatment.
Feelings were hurt.
Yeah. Just like, you're kind of just down. Almost every time now, like in the middle of the night, you're just like lean over to me and just like hold my hand because you feel bad and I feel bad. So it's usually you that initiates that.
I initiate the peacekeeping.
That like, okay, I just want to hold your hand. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I don't like
without using your words.
I don't like things like, because end of the day, nothing is truly that important to be mad at each other.
It's just funny that that's kind of something that's happened in the last, like, I don't know, I want to say like a year.
That I've been doing, like, that's how you like. What did I do before?
I don't know. I mean, we would just like, I think, talk about it the next day or whatever.
Share like why I was offended and why you were offended or what.
Now you're just like, I think because we've kind of figured out you tend to overanalyze and like sometimes like.
So you're already leaning with like I'm the one that's wrong.
No, I mean like I tend to brush things under the rug. I tried. I downplay stuff. Yep. It's not a big deal. So that's my like downfall.
Well, and when I say facts, it's because
that's what I do. Yeah. It's like a good and bad thing.
Well, it's you de-escalate a lot of things by not like paying attention.
But it's also a bad thing because I don't. I'll just brush it under the rug instead of like communicating it, or I like have these expectations of something. It doesn't happen, then I'm like sad about it in my head, but never like talk about it. So that's a way it could be a bad thing. Right. But I think it's funny because you're the opposite. You tend to, if something happens, you kind of stick to it and like think about it a lot, and it tends to like blow up in your head. Versus for me, I tend to just be like, oh, it's nothing, whatever.
I wish I could do the whole thing. I was like, oh, it's nothing. Don't pay attention. Like, because it creates this bitter train in my head, Yeah. When the bitter train starts.
But that's the thing with you is like you tend to do this thing where once it starts, like it just snowballs into like this bigger and bigger thing. Versus with me, it usually starts big in my head. Like, oh my gosh, I don't like that, the way he said that. And then it's like the opposite. In my head, I'll be like, well, actually, I don't think he meant that like that. And then like over time, as I process it, it gets like smaller and smaller, which is usually a good thing, but it could be a bad thing if you're trying to like have a conversation about this topic, and I just tend to just be like, oh, it doesn't matter. Let's just not talk about it.
I will say, because you have that tendency, which is a tendency that really falls in my favor, it has caused us to not fight multiple times because of the things I've said, right? Excuse me.
Right.
There's a lot of times I've said something or said it a certain way. And right after I said it, I knew I came off as a jerk. Mm-hmm. Right. And I was
but
rude.
you always
or whatever.
apologize.
Sometimes I do, but other times,
most
like
of the time you do, say something.
I try, but sometimes I don't, and I'm like, "What? Why did I do that?" You know. So you could have caught that, and then be like, "I don't like that," you know, and you just like let it create its own play in your head. So,
which it's like, I think that's what I'm saying could be a good thing and bad thing, because sometimes, if it could be a bad thing if I like, if this has happened before where something happened between you and another person, and I tend to be like, oh, it wasn't that big of an issue, but you're like, no, it was.
That's when it sucks. That's when it sucks.
But yeah. Because I do that in a lot of different situations, so I'm trying to be more aware of it, because I'll be like trying to see their side of the like argument and see every side, and everybody's right.
It sucks when I'm like, hey, this is what this asshole said. And then you're like, well, what?
Maybe he didn't mean it that way.
Well, yeah, are you sure? I was like, no, you need to come and like be on my team. So we're going to burn his house down.
Right. So it's like, it's good and bad, because I mean, sometimes you have to have strong feelings about things and be, what is it called? Like angry and have those emotions. I think it's valid ones, right?
Now, let me ask you this. How come you only take that side approach with me, where you try to justify the other person's actions?
Well, I do that with you.
Well, hold on a second. But how come that when it's between you and your girlfriends and somebody's like venting to you about bad service or somebody who was rude or whatever, and you're like, yeah, oh my gosh, why would they do that? That's so messed up. And I'm like, you're like picking and choosing. Like, instead
maybe
of
because I trust you enough to like be, I don't know.
You would never to your girlfriends be like, oh, well, did you consider that they were having a bad day when they were there?
What if they were just,
You're not getting invited to Wine Wednesdays with the girls.
Maybe that's why. I want to get invited to Wine Wednesdays. Book club.
I mean, listen, I truly do wish, and there's times that I've played this exercise in my head where like I try to find the best in people, or give them the benefit of the doubt. Like I've done this with you in my head in some things that you would do something, and then in the back of my mind, it's like starting to cook up this narrative, and I keep telling myself like repeatedly, like we're talking about in a course of like 45 minutes, I'd say it over and over and over like a mantra in my head. I'm like, she's not against you, she's for you. She's not against you, she didn't mean it that way. It's just, you're just reading into it. So I'm trying to de-escalate myself. And sometimes I just get distracted by
something. You've been really
something.
good about that in the last, like, I think year or two of doing that. I feel like before it would take me just being like, hey, why are you like mad at me? And you'd be like, I'm fine. Because I think you didn't want to talk about it because you knew it was just like,
I knew it was in my head.
In your head. But I would make you talk about it, and then it would turn into this like big thing, and we would like, you know, kind of get mad at each other and then have to make up.
Okay. We'll just leave it at that.
But I think now that we both recognize that, I think there's a lot of times where I go, what's wrong? And you're like, I'm just in my head, I don't want to talk about it. And then I know that it's just nothing.
It's nothing. Because
you would tell me if it was something.
So thank you for noticing that about me. But also, I think one thing that I'm proud of myself, not to toot my own horn, but
you can toot my horn. Edit that out, Kyle.
We don't edit here. And it's Russell. Russell's editing.
Oh, Russell. Okay.
Lost my train of thought.
You said you've been really good about that lately.
So of yes, telling you like, hey, that truly is. I was in my head that day. Don't read into it because I was irrational. But the second thing is me coming to you when it was a rational thing, coming to you and said, hey, I'm upset about this.
And making me cry.
Making you cry. Yesterday was the example of that. Because before I would just let it cook inside of me for a long time. Yeah. But when it really, I'm not in my head and it's truly something that means something to me. Let it out. Yeah. I would stop and I'd be like, hey, listen, this is why I was upset yesterday.
Do you feel like it stops that like
cycle for sure?
Cycle because you said it out loud and now it's not like
I spoke my truth.
You spoke your truth. Yes, and now it's not like just circling in your head.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. The buck stops there. Yeah. But then, which is funny because I got it off my shoulders.
Yeah.
Some would say you're being vulnerable, whatever. And so I got that off my shoulders. But then now it's like on your shoulders because you go.
Now I'm thinking about it.
I'm upset about it. versus like we spoke about it and then we go, thank you for being honest. You know what I mean? There's none of that. You're just like, oh great, now I'm carrying that.
You like let it off your shoulders and onto mine, because now I'm like trying to process it. And you know me, it takes me a long time to process things. Like I think that maybe that's one of the reasons I tend to cry or like be a little emotional in the beginning, because it catches me off guard. When you like, whenever, I don't know, we have some weird argument, it's like, oh, I didn't know that. And it's almost like I'm like defensive at first and I don't want to say anything. That's why I'm usually like quiet. Like yesterday, I feel like I didn't say a lot.
So the tears from yesterday's situation, was it tears because you were upset that we were arguing? Were there tears because you were upset yourself for how that made me feel? Or were the tears there because it's just a sad thing?
It was a sad thing. It was just a sad situation.
You
I just
thought
felt
of a
sorry
sad puppy
for both of us. And no, I think it was like more like being sad that you viewed that situation that way, and that you viewed, me that way in that whatever context of the conversation.
Right.
This is such a roundabout because we're not talking about what it was. But I don't really want to talk about what the conversation was about.
Allegedly said or did not say or implied.
To subject B.
To subject B.
No, I think it may, to be honest with you, I think I was more, I don't think I realized it in the moment, but it's like it was emotional because I think you were right.
Oh. So you're trying to
I was like
weasel
crying.
out of the conversation. You're like, I'm going to cry, and then make it look like he's upsetting me.
No, not that. It was more like I was sad at myself, that I was kind of embarrassed, I think.
Oh, okay. I mean,
that makes sense.
It makes sense.
So it's like my emotions kind of like, oh my gosh. And so I was crying.
But then who, again, so you recognize that you were wrong in the situation, right?
Not yet. I was later. I think the tears came because it was like my reaction to.
So because things were just sad.
Yeah.
It was just a sad environment, right?
No, it was like, I think in that moment, I don't know. I kind of felt like attacked, I think, in the moment.
And so the tears came from being like, this is a confrontation.
Yes. And I don't like confrontations. So I started crying. And then later, like in the middle of the night, it was like, he was probably right.
When I grabbed your hand already. Yeah. That's how I kill him with
kindness. But we also haven't really like talked about it after that. So we're talking about it right now. This is our.
Well, we talked about it in the bathroom this morning.
For like.
When I was like,
yeah.
I told you like, okay, fine, we'll do that thing, and you're like, no, it's okay, we don't have to. Which and the silliest thing is, it was about a project, and I don't want to like bring it up like what the thing is, because I think there's parts of our life that we don't have to put that much vulnerability out there in this world, but it was work related, and I think a lot of it stems from me not watching my gauges well enough of like, I feel like I'm redlining so often, and Kyle and I, and he probably feels the same way, because these projects are big, meaning, so if I'm building something big, he's editing something really big, and it's not easy for anybody. But I feel like I have not been doing a good job of like watching my gauges, and I think I'm redlining. And when you're redlining, you tend to kind of feel like you're unappreciated by your work, and it makes it feel like it makes you feel that when others go, who kind of just reap the benefits of your work, go, oh cool, let's just do that, and you're like, well, that's more money, that's, now we're over budget, and so you tend to go in your head, versus if I had, I think, a little bit of a healthier work pace, then I think I would have enough rest to not allow myself to.
I feel like usually you do a pretty good job, but I think because this week you've been working late and you're still like thinking about the project and doing it, I think it's seeping into, these like our downtime when we're supposed to be just after dinner laying on the couch and hanging out. It's like you're just going still. And so I think it's been hard this week. Yeah. And
I'm not sleeping well either. And that's the thing, is like, we spoke about sleep before, but now when I'll wake up in the middle of the night, I think I found a good concoction about sleep, like a good system. I'll take like valerian root to like help me stay in like a deeper sleep. And then if I wake up in the middle of the night, usually that's when my brain starts like thinking about a bunch of stuff. Like, I need to do this. I need to solve that. I need to, last night was hard. Well, last couple of nights was hard because during a project, usually if it's a project that has like the theme of the project or the area of the project is familiar to me, like I've been down this road before, then it's not a problem at all. I go, oh yeah, we'll solve it like this. It'll be just a little bit different. But when it's a project that you haven't crossed your path on, like for example, in this scenario, we're doing the soaker tub, and it's relocating the freestanding soaker tub. We're relocating the plumbing, which I mean, it's not relocating that far, but the drain's getting moved like a couple of feet to the side. Okay, well that's fine and dandy. We got that figured out. But then the biggest hurdle was that I kept trying to solve for is the faucet, the stupid faucet scenario where, you know, the faucet is supposed to be installed before the tub because it stays between the tub and the wall and you can't get behind there. Okay, well, now the faucet is late. You order the faucet on time, and then the faucet came. They're like, hey, sorry for the delay.
Yeah, there was a delay in shipping.
Another week. Yeah, thanks a lot, Biden. And then we solved that problem by ordering another faucet that was like next day aired, blah, blah, blah. But then it's like hooking up the faucet because I've already plumbed for it on concrete. So then the question is like, how am I going to connect the cables, the water cables or the water lines at the bottom to make this thing sit on there? So meaning I've never installed a freestanding faucet, right? The thing that's like 3 feet tall and like pours into your bathtub on concrete. Because if it was like, Kyle was asking me today, like, would this be, and I was super stressed today. He's like, would this be easier if this was like an OSB flooring, like a normal house? I was like 1,000%. Because you can push things in and out. With concrete, you can't push these lines into the ground. So it was just me trying to figure out a solution for this faucet scenario. And so when I woke up in the middle of the night, that's where my brain was like rattling.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to
stop that.
And we were supposed to shoot another piece of content today, like a very short piece of content with a brand. And I was trying to solve for that problem, you know? And so now you're just thinking about those things. So that's
now
how
you know you're going to be behind, and there's like all these deadlines.
There's deadlines, yeah.
I hate that feeling.
And then you're trying to figure out how you're going to execute certain problems the next day. And it's not like I'm trying to, like my brain wakes up in the middle of the night to go, let's say I need to go pee. And then I'm like, cool. The first couple of seconds, I'm like really drowsy and tired. I'm like, oh, this is great. I'll just go fall back asleep. And then as soon as my head hits the pillow, it's like, oh, guess what? We need to hook up this faucet today.
Right.
Well, how am I going to account for 4 inches I need to put into the ground and sitting like all of a sudden? And you're like, well, I guess we're here now. And then you go, well, what about this next project that we got to do?
Yeah, all of a sudden your brain, like, stop.
Dude, if I could turn my brain off in the middle of the night.
Not when you're a business owner.
And in the evening, it's fine because I know how to do it. Like, I'll have a cocktail. I'll have dinner. Dinner's a great way to...
You're distracted. That's the thing.
Dinner, like, will relax me. I'm on the couch with the kids.
Amazing dinner that your wife prepares for you.
Incredible dinner.
Incredible. Just every night.
Soul food, you know.
But I think that's the thing is you're distracted after dinner with the kids. There's so much going on. TV.
And it's not stress. It's like good distraction.
It's good distraction.
It's relaxing
just your
kind
family.
of distraction.
Yeah, but when you're laying in bed and it's quiet and there's nothing, that's when your brain is like blah, 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 blah.
They say that like if you were to go into solitude into like, let's say the forest, and you're not going to bring your cell phone with you, they say that like the first 2 weeks are like completely miserable.
Yeah, you're probably like going insane.
Because you're in your head. You're thinking about relationships. You're thinking about what you've done and you haven't done.
When you were 7 years old, why you didn't tell your mom the truth.
You're contemplating some of the most like irrational things. And so I think that solitude is what happens to me in the middle of the night, where like right now, I know there's a million things for me to do, but I know how to get distracted and go relax.
Yeah.
But when it's the middle of the night, there's nothing you can do in the middle of the night. You can't get up and go work. You can't go work out. You can't, you know, you're not going to watch things on your phone because now you have that, what is it, blue light, whatever that will keep you awake.
Yeah.
Well, so you're just left laying there with your thoughts.
You should get some blue light glasses.
Well, it's not
like I did.
Oh yeah, the ones that are still in your drawer. You're notorious for buying all these trinkets.
So dumb. I do it all the time. I get sucked in by the stupid influencer scams.
Use my promo code.
Yes. I love these blue glasses. They're so cute on and they work so well.
You should watch my YouTube videos. Support the channel.
Watch your ad reads. Yeah, but speaking of the TIFF, maybe that's what we can call it.
The TIFF. Yeah, I like TIFF.
Quarry that we had.
Coral.
I feel there's a lot of people invested in our master bathroom from my stories.
Are there?
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so tell me, because it's funny to me that you're like, I saw your story you put out. You're like, if you have any ideas, well, the we part is hilarious. You're a good sport about it. You're laughing with it. A lot of people are laughing about it. That
I love it. It needs
what
to
we're
be a
doing
shirt.
here. I have to figure out a good tagline behind it.
Yes.
But
need to make it into like a
if
video.
if you're just listening to this for the first time, and you know the spouses, not just you, but spouses have
Everybody does
notorious this thing is like, well, we did here.
We should.
Like we remodeled it, and when we remodeled, we were thinking, and I was like, hold on a second.
How much did you do?
How much did you say it's we?
0%.
So we made a joke about it.
It's a joke, yeah, running joke.
So, but you did a story about like, so if you guys have any ideas about what we're gonna do here, send it my way.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
no.
You're gonna have a bunch of these women whose husbands are not doing projects for them. So you're like,
I have all the ideas.
Here's what you should do.
They send me a whole folder of
complicate your husband's life.
No, I wanted ideas on like the vanity and where I could put like the makeup vanity.
You're so sold on this
and
makeup idea.
Actually, somebody told me,
don't wear makeup.
just don't do your makeup and you'll be fine.
Then you won't need
so
a
I
makeup
had
counter.
a lot of people tell me to do the makeup vanity where the closet is, since we're going to take that out anyway. But I know you want to do something fun with a shower, so I think that's out of the question.
Fun. We're
going to do something so fun with a shower.
Yeah.
No, you told me some ideas.
Yeah.
That's not really an option.
I'm essentially making it bigger, yeah.
Yeah. But if you look at our vanity, like our sinks aren't centered. Have you ever noticed that?
No, but there's certain.
So your sink is like maybe this much away from the end of the.
Yeah, and then you have more.
And mine is like this. So if we push my sink to where you're like have the same equal distance between like on the sides, the sinks, I think there's enough space where at least you could have like a small vanity
Do you
area.
know why? Do you know why
Are we gonna have another tiff?
Do you know why your side of the sink on the right has more space than my side on the left? And I have more space in the middle? Is because the part in the middle to the right of me is supposed to be my area, and the stuff on the right of yours is your area because there's a drawer directly below it. So I have a sink, and on the left side is just the edge. Then there's a sink, and then on the right side, there's a little countertop area, and then below that directly is 3 drawers. Yours has a sink. To the left of it has a little bit of an area, and then below that you have 3 drawers. That is your area. Once we push your sink out, and then we just elongate the middle, now
there's
you
no
have
drawer space.
Now I don't have an area, and you have all the area for makeup. Do you see how this works?
There's no drawer space.
It turns into what a classic bedroom marriage bed looks like. You have 90% of the 90% of the bed. 3/4 is generous.
75%.
Well, actually, okay, it's 3/4 is fine. But then when Harper comes into bed, then Dad's sleeping on 10% of the bed.
She barely comes in.
So I want to elongate my side and keep your side as is.
I mean, that makes more sense with like plumbing and stuff, right?
Plumbing is not an issue. No, the drawers are there. The drawers have nothing to do with the plumbing. The cabinets, when you open the 2 doors, that's where the plumbing is.
Then what's the problem?
I'm not giving up my counter space.
You only need like 1 drawer. Let's be honest. You have nothing.
I like the potential of knowing I could put things there.
I'm going to leave it empty, but I like the idea if I ever need it.
I don't trust you. The last thing I want to trust you with is drawers because you're always telling me I need more storage. I need more storage.
I need space.
So I built storage for the mudroom lockers. I built storage, a lot of them in the laundry. And I build huge amounts of storage in the media console in the bonus room.
I don't use it.
What's in all those drawers? Junk.
No, there's actually nothing in the
Pure
drawers.
junk. No, you can open it. There's stuff inside of it. There's like Jack's switch cover, right? Like a traveling case that he never uses.
I didn't put that there.
There are craft stuff. There's coloring stuff. There's board games, which is fine. That's appropriate for the bonus
Well,
room.
actually, there's 1 drawer full of board games that I put.
Yes,
in
and
there.
then you'll go to the laundry room, and then there'll be like 3 different totes. Not a big thing, but 3 different totes of like there'll be 2 costumes from a Halloween thing into one. There'll be
No,
like
that's not true.
4 hats.
Maybe before the remodel.
Just because you just went through it recently.
Yes.
Have you looked into the mudroom?
No, I haven't even organized that yet.
Yes, because there's just junk. You're notorious for having small little storage things, like little baskets, and then a little bit of everything into each one.
Just a little.
And I'm like, why don't you just have
No,
like a
I
big
just
bin?
haven't organized. Well, it is just 1 big bin.
So what's gonna happen when you get more storage in the
I have
bathroom?
bins.
I don't trust you.
Bins of stuff.
You and we've had it already, a hoarder episode, but like that's your way of like holding on to stuff.
Because you put it in a bin and you don't see it.
You put it in one small bin.
Well, this is the thing. I don't have any garage space to put
You don't
totes.
need garage space.
No, but
We have a
listen, most
storage
people,
locker.
if they want to put their Halloween costumes away,
Okay.
Christmas decor,
Hey.
they have...
Yeah. Go continue. I'm sorry. That was wrong.
They have garage space where they have like a certain shelving that they put totes in and they label it Christmas, Halloween, Easter. I don't have that. So I have to find spaces in the house to do that.
We've had that before in our last house. And your totes were about this big. They were big enough to put a ruler in. And then you would have 5 totes devoted to Halloween costumes.
But they were inside
a
the
kid
tote.
would wear one time. Right? Instead of you going, oh, you'll wear this costume next year, you just keep that costume.
No, they've reworn some of their stuff.
Name 2 Halloweens in a row. Give me name 2 Halloweens.
Not Halloweens. Dress up.
Oh, okay, dress up. Okay. When did they dress it up?
Or like to school.
To school. Gotcha. You have a billion totes that are small, but then you'll have a billion of them versus having like one. By the way, did you see
where would I keep one big one? I can't keep it in the garage.
You have a storage unit.
But am I going to drive?
And
all
then
the
what's
way?
in your storage unit? You have boxes, you have chandeliers, you have a high chair in there. You have some of the most...
Your ATV.
Well, I have the most useful stuff in there. I have like seasonal stuff that's in there.
Me too. It's all seasonal.
It's the season to throw that junk out.
It's Christmas stuff
You
because
have-
I have nowhere else to put it.
Oh my gosh.
The Christmas tree is in there.
Okay, that's the most useful thing. So why not having these like Easter stuff that's seasonal, Halloween stuff that's seasonal? Why not have it in large bins in the storage unit?
Well, because first of all, I have to find a bin, which I don't have. You need, and then I have to drive it all the way to my storage unit, which is far now.
Yeah, you poor soul.
It's too far.
This is never enough space.
So now, but I mean, even in the meantime, I have to find spaces for these things, or winter clothes.
Yeah.
When it's summer.
Yeah.
Where do you put your winter
clothes? Put it in
clothes?
a big bin. Put it in a storage unit. We're not touching that for 6 months.
And then.
So why would you put those bins in the garage?
If you commit to driving to the storage
No,
unit to get my
it's
stuff?
not even far. You used to drive to the storage for work
I know,
a
but now
few
that I
times
don't
a
have to
week.
drive for work, I don't want to drive there at all.
My blood pressure was going down. Now it's going back up.
It's going back up.
It's going back up. You're really good at that.
I am good at that.
If you want to find a storage unit closer to the house, that's fine.
Yeah.
But that storage unit is 5 miles away. It's not far.
Feels
It's not
far.
even freeway driving.
True. I don't know. I just wish I had some room in the garage. No?
No. And I saw you trying to sneak in some Christmas stuff in, again, small little totes.
I did.
Well, these are like sandwich-sized
What's in
totes.
the attic?
A furnace.
That's it?
That's
Can you store stuff in
no. It's all insulation. It's not a finished. You can't walk there. The truss.
I just want you to acknowledge that I support you so much. I don't even put boxes in the garage of storage.
Oh, I like how you correct that. I don't put boxes in the garage. What boxes do you put?
Only cardboard boxes. It's different.
You've been better about that, breaking them down.
I'm trying.
Because before you should feel like you just give me more chores to do.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, you go break this down. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I've been working all day.
You don't have anything else to do, so you should break these boxes down.
I make myself honey-do lists around
Yeah.
the house. It's like, oh, make sure you patch this up and tidy that up and clean that up and
And then I
paint
just
that.
leave you boxes.
And then you leave me
everywhere.
boxes. And I'm like, enough with the Amazon boxes.
Yeah. Sometimes they're not Amazon. Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes they're Wayfair. Yeah.
So. Well, the bathroom is looking amazing.
You like it?
It's awesome.
Are you excited for your soaker tub?
Is it available for use? No?
The caulking on the bottom, the siliconing has to dry overnight, but so tomorrow will be available for use. But the faucet, all of it's
Nice.
going
Looks
well.
amazing.
There's a weird in between. And by the way, the video will probably come out after this episode. There is a well, not probably 100% will come out because you're not going to be able to get this video out on Monday. The weird thing about these soaker tubs is it's a vessel looking freestanding soaker tub. And then the faucet stands right in the middle of it, right on the side portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
But there has to be this fine line of how much the faucet hangs over into the tub, because if it's too much, then it's in your way. Like you always have to move the faucet to get in and out. If it's too far out, then it's dripping on the ground. And what I found out with this one, I think it's positioned perfectly where it doesn't, like, you can sit in there and get in and out while the water's filling. But the handle, the one, the what do they call it? The shower part that you take off, you know, and then like with the hose, you know, hose yourself off. That part doesn't tip over far enough into the tub. Like if it's the pressure's on, it'll flow into it. But when you turn it off, it trickles down onto the ground. So I need to figure out what to do with that.
The shower part. If you
The
ever
shower
use it.
part. Right, which you don't use the shower part.
No, only for like cleaning. I think that's what it's
maybe
for
rinsing
usually.
off a kid,
Or rinsing, yeah.
But then when you turn it off, you know how it trickles down a little bit?
Yeah.
It trickles down onto the tile.
Ooh, yeah.
Which is not a big deal. It's the same trickling that happens when you get out of the shower. But it's
when it's on
But it's one of those things
yeah.
that, like, if I brought it too close to the thing, to the tub, then it would
be in the way.
It'd be right in your way. You're like, I need to move this nozzle every time, swing it to the side in order to.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting about. It's funny how you girls really like soaker tubs, but they're not the most convenient thing
to like set up.
Well, not set up, but like they're not the most convenient part of a bathtub. I think the premise of it is really cool. Like it's like a Victorian style thing.
It looks cool.
It looks cool. But then the way all soaker tubs are set up, where it's like I said, it's a bowl, right? Which meaning bowls are wider on top and narrow at the bottom. But when you sit, your legs are at the bottom, so therefore you're shortening your distance of it in this tub. So by every definition of a soaker tub, no matter which one you buy, some would be like 5 inches bigger, but they're really just a 5-inch play. They're usually in that like 60-inch area. They're smaller in size at the bottom, at the base. They're wider on top, but who cares about the top part? You have this shower head that's sticking in there, or the filler tub that could be in the way. And people go for those coming from a regular bathtub. It makes no sense to me. You're almost downsizing just for aesthetics.
I think most people don't go from like we did.
Oh, they go from like a smaller regular bathtub.
I think most people go from just a regular bathtub.
You went from a pool to a soaker tub.
In my defense, we have a hot tub outside, so
that you don't use.
I do. We just went the other day.
That was my argument too. I was like, why have it if you can go soak in the hot tub?
Because you never want to go with me in the hot tub, and then I'm scared to go by myself in the dark.
And the hilarious part is the hot tub is directly behind the wall of the
I know, it's literally right outside.
You can open up the window and climb literally directly out of the soaker tub into the hot tub if you wanted to.
But it looks so good.
Don't stop. Don't flatter.
I was surprised how much more narrow those freestanding tubs are than like a regular.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the same size as like a regular tub, but I mean the jacuzzi tubs.
Well, the reason why it's because they're banking on the fact that there's going to be a faucet that's standing on the ground that you have to create enough from. So essentially you have to have like 10 inches between the tub and the wall.
Yeah.
So.
Which is interesting because I feel like the best looking faucets are the ones that are right in the middle behind it.
Yeah, like we have it, right?
But I've seen ones that are on the opposite side where it's
at your feet or something.
At your feet, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which
we could have put this one there. You know that?
Why didn't you?
Are you serious right now?
Joking.
Do you know how much plumbing stress I could have saved by keeping it where you're at the feet?
Did you do it on purpose because it would look better?
That's how they all do it.
Yeah, it looks amazing. What?
Oh.
I'm just saying I found it interesting that people put it in different spots. I'm not saying you should have done that. I think it looks amazing where it is. Okay. Especially in the middle. Your eyes twitching.
I need a massage.
Babe, it looks really good.
Kyle's been in the trenches with me. He's seen me frustrated with this plumbing situation. Oh, you're gonna get lit up in the comments about the jacuzzi part.
I know.
You're gonna get lit. If you thought the barn door set issue was an issue,
you're gonna be pissed.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, when I post the picture, it's gonna look amazing.
Yeah.
On my feed.
Well. Okay.
I will say, you agreed with me.
Mm-hmm.
Putting the the freestanding tub in the bathroom makes the bathroom look so much bigger.
I never felt the bathroom was small.
Can you just agree with me?
No, I do. Yes, you know how they go like at the doctor's office. It's like, which one's better, 1 or 2? You're
They're
like,
the same.
well, they're the same. But you're like, but really, like if you're gonna put a number, maybe by 1%. Oh, so 2. 2's better, right? So that's the same situation.
Bigger.
Yeah, but I was completely fine seeing things before.
I feel like it feels like it's open more.
Yeah, because you can walk around because you put a smaller bathtub it kind of makes sense, right? Like you put a smaller.
What would you have done?
I would have kept it the same way.
And just retiled it?
Just retiled around and make it more modern. Actually, here's what I would have done. Your parents have this really cool setup at their house right now where there's a little, like maybe a 12, I'm almost like regretting saying this too because you're like, ooh, that sounds cool.
No.
It's like, it's like regular floor and then there's almost like a stage, right? Like
that, and it goes in.
And then it drops into the ground. So you can walk completely around. There's no step. There's just like literally one step.
But you wouldn't be able to do that.
And it's one wrapped around. Why not?
Unless you do an extra step up. You can't make it go in.
Yeah, you dig a hole in the ground. You drop
into
it
the cement.
That's what we did. That's what we did with your parents' house. Yes.
But on our slab, you would do that?
Well, there was not a lot of slab that was there because they were running plumbing underneath. So when I took the tub out, there's only probably 50% of slab there.
Hey, babe, can we do that? Just joking. Yeah. No, I love it. Yeah. I think it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I know it was a lot of work. And I'm going to enjoy taking baths in there.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever take a bath in it?
Me? I'm sure I'll get in there for the sake of... Well, I'll be there for the thumbnail.
Yeah. For the thumbnail.
I'm gonna shoot some kind of provocative one.
Ooh, okay. You want to do one together?
Yeah. We both won't fit in this thing.
Yeah, we will.
That's definitely out of the question. You're like, can you go take a bath? And it's like, that's not going to happen.
Well, we could just go in the hot tub.
Oh, then why did we do this project?
Well, because I sometimes like taking baths.
Yeah.
And not getting in the hot tub.
I should have messed with you. I should have just put a bowl right in the middle. I feel like there's just so
Have you seen those bathtubs that's like literally a circle? I don't know how you would take a bath in it. Have you seen those?
Yeah, but there's... What do they say?
It's for aesthetic.
It's just, yeah. You girls think it's really cool, but the idea is like, how practical is it?
Yeah. Well, I'm learning.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't want to sound like a bitter old man who's like, I don't want to do that. It's a young man's game. But there's certain things that you go, how practical is this? Mm-hmm. Like certain things look good, but it doesn't mean that you'll actually
it's going to be as good.
Right. I think you learn a lot of things from really high-end homes, right? Because a lot of the times it's so expensive that they just kind of figured out layouts and...
Right.
Yeah. And at that point, I'm sure if they're going to put a soaker tub, they're going to put something that's like $10,000 that's imported from Venice.
Somewhere.
And it's this marble...
Clawfoot, some kind of,
Clawfoot?
Clawfoot. Have you seen those? Those are like the Victorian style, like with the feet on them.
Oh, yeah.
They're like brass or whatever.
Mm-hmm. But still, it's a small soaker tub. Like all soaker tubs are small. I was at Lowe's today. I looked at their soaker tub. The one at Lowe's was actually smaller than this one.
Why does everybody love them? Including me.
Because they look cute.
It's about the look.
Yep. They look
cute. What is it? Form over function.
Yeah. Yep.
You got to have both.
Please tell me, like, with the shower. So the next thing is we're going to do a vanity. Do you have any ideas for the vanity?
I do, but I want
to hear, like, premeditated. Because you know what's starting next. And you know we need to start ordering hardware.
I actually, I don't know. This is, I don't know if you're going to like this or not.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think it'd be really cool to do something different and do, like, walnut. Or, like, at least a walnut stain on the vanity. Do you like that?
That's easy. That's the least of the complications.
Well, and then all I really want is just make a vanity.
Makeup vanity.
No, it doesn't have to be in the vanity. But that's really it. I don't know, like tile wise, I haven't really thought about it.
Are the faucets gonna be in the countertop?
That's up to you.
So you don't have any. I didn't know if you had any like. Did you say
if
something
plumbing
about?
Plumbing is gonna be too hard. We can do it in the vanity.
Did you?
I want actually. I think like a gray, like a really pretty marbly gray quartz or something as the like something, or like really dark. That'd be kind of fun too.
That'd be like
I don't know. I kind of want to go a little different. We already did the green.
Mm-hmm. I like the green a lot, actually.
I love the green too.
I kind of would like want the shower or something like that to be green.
That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Similar tile, but in the shower.
Kyle, I'm gonna start saying things like fun now. Fun. You know what'd be fun about this project? But Did you? I don't remember. Did you say you wanted to do like sconce lights on the vanity,
Sides,
or
yeah.
did you? Are we doing what we did at our last house where we had like 2 independent mirrors?
Depends. I mean, it just depends. Like what?
You gave no thought to this project, have
No,
you?
I did.
You
I've been
did?
thinking about it.
Well,
I
yeah.
have some inspo.
So far, you're covered on the vanity. It's walnut and marble top. But then what about
What do you mean, like mirrors?
Well,
I
like
would probably do 2 separate mirrors.
2 separate mirrors,
Some
and then
sconces in between.
and then so tile behind it, backsplash.
Yeah, backsplash.
So sconces. That was my big question. Sconces on the sides.
I think so. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to. I mean, it's all doable.
You're trying to, yeah.
I'm trying to see because I didn't want. What I don't like is me starting a project and then in the middle of like the.
Well,
like,
that's why I'm trying to be better about telling you what I think would look good before you start it. But I also don't want to overwhelm you about the next project when you're still finishing up your current project.
Well, today's officially done.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think the shower, whatever you want to do.
Okay. Interesting.
I say that with holding my breath.
Yeah, I feel like you're saying that, but you don't mean it. We'll see. Because you're going to throw something on me while I'm like stressed out in the middle of a project and be like, what if we put a balcony right over the
shower. That comes. You have some steps
Yeah.
that come up, and then you overlook the bathroom from the shower.
And then your defense, you're like, you never let me say what I want. This is why you say never to bother you with these projects.
I always tell you, and you say no.
Yeah, folks, that's what it's like being married to me.
But you have a pretty creative mind, so I think you do a good job.
Thanks.
Sometimes I just like to add
I'm just good at staying on budget.
Yeah. And I am not.
Yeah, you're really good at that part of not staying on budget. All right, man. This has been fun.
I think the shower will be a
banger.
Yeah.
You think so?
Well, that's going to be an intense project for you, but
okay.
For us, we're
not taking out, I'm not taking out the steam section of the bathroom, of the shower. That stays in there.
Can you even take it out?
You can replumb the thing, but I'm not like.
I just hate. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think it's not worth it. But is there a way to like leave it, but not? It just always smells weird in there.
Well,
because of the steamer.
Well, I don't know if it smells.
They like DIY'd it or something.
No, I don't think it smells because of steamer. The smell that you're probably referring to is like a gym steam room kind of smell.
Yeah.
I think it smells is because there's literally no ventilation in there. Like so
they did the steam room without ventilation?
No, not that kind of ventilation. What I mean by ventilation is like usually when you do actually it's a great question because your parents have a steam room in their shower. So I wonder if it has something to do with like
the way the door
is there a crack open that it ventilates out like when you're done showering and stuff like that, or does it stay in there?
Like since we moved in there's been this weird smell.
Well, it's also that steam room shower they've made it to look like a cave for sure.
Yeah.
Like it's the darkest thing in the corner and it's even tiled outside of it. They're tiled with this brown tile. Like it makes you feel claustrophobic walking into it.
That's
very
what I keep
Dungeness.
saying.
Yes.
It looks Dungeness. It's dark.
Very Al Qaeda like cave thing.
Cave like. In not a good way.
Oh yeah, because there's a good Al Qaeda cave way.
No, I meant like cave. Some caves are cool.
Some caves are cool. Yeah. We'll see what that comes out of it. I'm sure.
It's gonna be a big one. Yeah. But I mean,
I don't know. We got to look at your parents' steam room, see if there's like a window or crack open on the top of the glass for it to ventilate out.
But that would make sense. Yeah.
Because you're basically keeping this essentially airtight thing, which it's for
maybe
efficiency.
If it was a glass door that had like some like
an
it's
opening
not
on top,
an opening on top, it would make more sense.
Right, but then you're evacuating all this steam out.
Letting the steam
out. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll see what they. I don't know.
Just brainstorming here.
Or putting a fan in there, probably. I don't know. That's maybe another. I don't know. I got to look at what people have done. Folks, this has been fun.
Hope you guys liked our counseling session.
Yeah, this is how we fight.
We'll just talk about it.
Yeah, talk about it. All right, folks. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.